Hey folks, this is me, Ivars, and today we are diving deeper into C# universe. So let's talk about syntax, variables, functions, classes, what happens with our code and what is kernel. Syntax. Single-line comments begin with 2 backslashes and continue to the end of the line. Multi-line comments start with backslash plus asterisk and end with asterisk plus backslash. Code structure. References class, variables, functions. Variables. Variables are values and references to objects. They are like a box that contains something that we use. Variables start with a lowercase letter. Can't start with a number and can't contain spaces. The visibility keyword public or private in front, followed by the type and name of the variable. Functions. Functions are collections of code that compare and manipulate variables. Functions start with a capital letter, and the body of the function is inside the curly braces. Classes. Classes are a way of structuring code to wrap variables and functions together, creating a template that defines the properties of an object. What happens with our code? Here's a brief overview of the process. Compilation. When you write C# code, it is compiled by the C# compiler into Common Intermediate Language (CIL) code. Intermediate code. The compiled CIL code is not platform-specific, meaning it can run on any system that has a compatible CLR. Runtime execution. The CIL code is executed by the Common Language Runtime CLR at runtime. The CLR is a part of the .NET Framework or .NET Core runtime environment, and it is responsible for just-in-time JIT compilation of the intermediate code into native machine code specific to the underlying hardware. Execution by CPU. The native machine code, generated by the CLR through JIT compilation, is then executed by the computer's CPU. What is kernel? The kernel is the core part of the operating system. It manages system resources, provides essential services to other parts of the operating system and applications, and facilitates communication between software and hardware. When your program interacts with the computer, it often does so through system calls. The kernel is responsible for handling these system calls, which are requests for services from the operating system. Practical example of kernel. Graphics rendering. The game uses a graphics API like DirectX or OpenGL, which makes system calls to the kernel to interact with the GPU. Sound. The game uses an audio API to play sounds, which also involves system calls to the kernel to interact with the sound hardware. Input handling. The game reads input from devices like the keyboard, mouse, or game controller, which involves system calls to the kernel to get input data from these devices. Networking. For multiplayer games, network communication involves system calls to send and receive data over the network. Now, let's create a few more buttons and figure out how to switch scenes. As you can see, I imported a package from the Unity Assets Store. I will include links in the description for the packages that I recommend. I'd like to express my gratitude for the package created by Mara Belovich. If you use it, please consider leaving a review and providing attribution in the final product. It truly warms an artist's heart. I've duplicated the buttons and now I will move one up to be the settings button. The remaining buttons will be for the other two scenes, video tails and interactive video tails. We also need to remove the current script as we're going to create a new one for switching between scenes. The script is called scene_switcher. Make sure the class and file name are the same. Here we just have to ensure we use Unity Scene Management Reference, define a variable for the scene to switch to, and create a function to do so. We need to create a new scene to test our script and make sure that both of these scenes are included in the build. Additionally, we should use the scale with screen size setting for mobile. For including scenes in the build, go to the new scene, then click on File, Build Settings, and add Open Scene. Make sure you do the steps you can see here. We can now change the text from Welcome to Settings. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video where we're going to create a workbook.